friends, brothers and sisters, thank you for being here tonight as we enjoy the sense of collective identity that this weekend's convention provides. I hope it is as inspiring to you as it is to me to join with so many other Democrats and like-minded thinkers to discuss the future of our party. This is what I'd like to talk about this evening, where we've been and where we're headed. We all have many theories and beliefs about the losses of 2010. Some say they occurred because of national conditions. Some mention the emergence of the Tea Party, and others claim it was a failure of Democrats to message effectively. I can't speak to what happened elsewhere, but I believe that here in Maine, it was an unfortunate misconception that had been slowly building for years that the Democrats did not have the best interests of different kinds of places in the state at heart. We know that to be far from the truth, and the stakes to prove it have never been so high. Since Paul LePage and the new majority have been in power, we've seen children, women, and the elderly targeted in an effort to play the most political of games. We've seen teachers punted about like footballs because it makes good campaign talking points. We've seen all working people, union or not, come under fire because, like any Mainer, they too strive for a future in which they can climb the ladder of success. That's a desire we all share. Well, I've got a message for Governor Paul LePage. You may have pulled the ladder up behind you once you climbed it, but the opportunity should exist for everyone. And we Democrats are putting it back in place next January. I gotta admit, this last session began as an absolutely disheartening time for me. I watched as 10 years of work I'd done on logging issues that are important to me was stripped away. Walking into the state every day had never been so bitter. I dreaded the roll calls of each vote that would result in us failing to come up with numbers to protect teachers, the elderly, or consumers from the Republicans' attacks. But I have to tell you, every single time that one of these bills came up, I felt something inside. Every time I listened to Mainers in committee about their stories of struggling, their pleas to not let them down, I got more and more fire inside me. Every time they brought something up as unfair and crippling as their same-day voter registration law or their insurance company giveaways on the Senate floor, I became more outraged. And every day that I think about the folks who were deemed poor, but just not poor enough to have health insurance, I can't help but see that today is our make or break moment. The radical agenda they put on the people of Maine makes me think of when my mother, a divorced parent, graduated from college and began teaching, only to be rewarded with an income that left us in an unheated camp with no running water. I think of my friends who've left northern Maine because they can't afford to find work in the woods despite wealthy Quebec contractors cutting only miles from my home. I think of a friend of mine who died in his early 20s and left a daughter behind because they had no health insurance, and when he started having chest pains, he couldn't afford to go to the hospital. And when I think of all these things and what the Republicans are doing, I become more determined and more ready than ever to have been in 2012 that no Mainer should have to worry about these things. I know that each of you have had your own experiences and can relate to any of these things that I've mentioned. Maybe they're not so different from mine. But we need to build our party and prove that it is an all-inclusive one. We need to prove that the Democratic tent, our tent, is big enough for everyone. And that no matter where you're from in this state, no matter our cultural differences, our regional differences, there is room within it. Because no matter how different we may be, and no matter how many issues we don't all have that line up, We are Mainers, united by the reality of our shared history and our shared identity as hard workers. No matter the towns and counties that separate us, and no matter the rivers and lakes between us, no matter the deeply held sentiments that diverged generations ago, we are all one people with the same hopes that for the future our families have here in Maine. Together, through hard work, we're going to prove this in November and turn this tide. You know, my older son is 20, and he often talks of our town of Allagash. He remembers a time when he had a school. Now there's none. And he remembers 3 stores in that town. Now there's none of those either. He remembers the dozens of kids that were still around in his early childhood. Today there maybe are 15. In his 20 years, he's seen Allegash's population cut in half. He has told me several times that the struggle of his life will be to reconcile himself to finding somewhere else to live because there's no opportunity to work for his family in Allagash. No matter how badly he wants to remain where our family's been since the 1830s. My younger son is graduating from high school next week. Despite my reservations, he's always wanted to work in the woods and will do as our family has for generations. For years, it's all he's wanted to do. It's all he's talked about. He gets up every morning at 2 o'clock, goes to work, and then goes to school because of an early work program that's offered. Oftentimes, he goes back to work after work for a few more hours. Within a few weeks, he will likely be doing the same work I do when I'm not in the legislature. He'll be running a piece of heavy machinery or driving a truck, anywhere from 60 to 80 hours a week, often in the middle of the night, and most often for relatively undesirable wages. If Obamacare is repealed, he'll have no health insurance by the time he's 21 and no way really to afford it. Like every northern Maine logger within the next few years, he'll watch his friends, or God forbid his job, lost to a company from Canada because a landowner or foreign contractor says he's too expensive. The reality is that these companies will trample any Mainer and the dignity of anyone's profession in order to fatten their bottom line. And if the issue is ever raised here in Augusta, and Lord knows I've raised it often, I know what the answer from Paul LePage and his Republican allies is. It's that my son is one of those lazy Americans who doesn't want to work in the woods. But I'm here to say that my children and yours, no 2 young people should be faced with these situations. No young adult should ever look upon their hometown with sad eyes and ache at its best days being in the past. And no young adult should ever be the victim of government's inability to solve a problem that's been allowed to drown an area in unchecked greed when all he wants to do is go to work. We can do better than that. We want better than that. We will do better than that. That's why we are Democrats. Because, brothers and sisters, we are the party of Allagash's proud loggers. Just as we are the party of the entrepreneurs and the renovated mills of Biddeford, we are the party of the creative economy in Cong Street in Portland. Just as we are the party of the tireless mill workers in Rumford. We are the party of lobstermen in Rockland and the Maine Guide in Jackman. The party of the potato farmer in Caribou and the teacher in Waldoboro. We are the party of the hard-working state employees here in Augusta. And the abused Augusta workers just a few miles north. We're the party of the children, whether they're in Jay or Machias, and we are the party of the elderly, whether they're in Greenville or Bangor. Brothers and sisters, we are going to go forth, and we are going to win in November. And when we do, we will make damn sure that the ladder of success is there for every Mainer. We are on the right side of this fight. We are on the right side of history, and we are the party of the people of Maine. We are Democrats, and we are holding the ladder for everyone.